Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to an ESPN NFL 2K5 Franchise Dynasty with the Philadelphia Eagles. You can see we got 2 games left on the season. We got the St. Louis Rams, and we got the Cincinnati Bengals. Quick look at our injury report, and we're just going to haul right into this thing. We got the St. Louis Rams in the house. Now listen, we've got home field advantage clinched. We know that based on the last episode. So we're going to be seeing a lot of backups today, maybe less so in this first game, but a little bit more so in the second game. Before we get there, liking, commenting on the video always helps for that engagement, and we are on that road to 250 subscribers. So if you're liking all of this ESPN NFL 2K5 content, there's plenty more where that came from. We're only on franchise 2 out of all of the teams in the NFL, so big plans to come, and we welcome you all into St. Louis, Missouri, where we have a matchup under the dome here in St. Louis against the Eagles and the Rams, the Edward Jones Dome to be exact. The St. Louis Rams having a little bit of an underwhelming season despite all of the weapons that they have on the team. The Rams faithful are there regardless and ready to rock, and of course the Philadelphia Eagles and their elite defense is on the field. We don't know how much they'll play today, but we know that we are starting all of our guys. And starting off the game today, Correll Buckhalter spitting out of 1 tackle but gets tackled for a gain of 1 yard, and that tackle that is missed by the inside linebacker Robert Thomas does lead to an injury. So an injury for the Rams on the first play of the game. On the second play of the game, Blake finds Owens on the left side of the field for a 9-yard gain that will give the Eagles a first down. On that first down, Buckhalter, same spin out of the right side, only a 2-yard gain that time. Blake looking over on the left side for Terrell Owens, has his first big reception. That's a 17-yard gain. Move the chains just to the edge of Philadelphia territory. They move just a step back there. We have a 2nd and 11. Blake completing this one to his rookie PK Sam, the signing for us in the middle of free agency, manages 6 yards on a brutal tackle from Archuleta. On the 3rd down, Blake finds Buckhalter, who is over the line. It's a gain of 8 yards before Pauly can get the tackle. Gives them that first down into that territory of St. Louis. Perry tries to spin out of the tackle, also gets no gain that time, bringing up a 2nd and 10. Blake throws a deep one over to the right side, just out of the hands of Freddie Mitchell. That's an incomplete pass and a 3rd down. On the 3rd down, Blake looking to pass has PK Sam over the middle, who makes the catch, takes the tackle from Williams. That's a 19-yard gain and a first down into St. Louis's 19. Blake scrambles forward, dives and outstretches, a risky move considering where we are in relation to the playoffs, but we get the first down. Now this run by Buckhalter is going to be called a touchdown. It's an 8-yard gain. We're putting 6 on the board, but true to the referee's nature, they're not perfect all the time, and St. Louis will be challenging the spot of the ball. Usually the replays don't show us much. You can kind of see pretty clearly in this replay that Buckhalter has the speed. He kind of tries to charge through the tackle, but you do see his knees get down before that goal line, so we will not get the touchdown. The call is overturned, and I don't know, man. We just get slapped with a delay of game penalty because we didn't go through the animations fast enough, so that's going to push us back to the 5. Buckhalter only getting 1 yard on the stop from Pauly. On the 3rd and goal, it seems like the Rams are going to get the stop. Blake throws it up to the end zone in between 3 defenders, and we get a defensive pass interference call on the St. Louis defense on the big Chad Lewis, giving us a 1st and goal from the St. Louis 1. You think that this is a gimme at this point, but no. 1st and 10, Richie gets up the middle, no gain. Spoon is in there on the tackle. Richie trying to get it on the 2nd one, no gain on the tackle from Kennedy. 3rd and goal, Buckhalter, please goodness get yourself in the end zone. We finally get the 1-yard gain and the touchdown from the Admiral Correll Buckhalter, put a touchdown in his column, and we've got the lead here in St. Louis by a score of 7-0. The Rams taking over for their first drive of the game is where Mark Bulger throws it to the left side, incomplete. 2nd and 10, Marshall Faulk running it over to the right side. Steven Jackson just toiling away on the bench while Marshall Faulk runs it for 6 yards. And on the 3rd and 6, that's an incomplete pass from Mark Bulger. The coach doesn't love it, Mark Bulger doesn't love it, and the Eagles take back over here. Now this is where we bench everybody. We get a quick little walkthrough of the depth chart there. We have our rookie quarterback Andrew Hall, rated 50 overall, taking over from here on out to the rest of the game. We also have a lot of backups. Now Andrew Hall does get that scramble up the middle for 8 yards, followed up by that 4-yard run from Bruce Perry, so the backups get a first down on their first time out. Hall gets his pass deflected there. Luckily it wasn't worse, like an interception or a big sack. On the 2nd and 10, Thomas Tappe, our like 40-something, maybe low 50-something overall fullback, manages 4 yards on the play, and we head into the second quarter with the Eagles holding on to a 7-0 lead here in St. Louis. Starting up the second quarter on a 3rd and 6, Leonard Little does break through the offensive line, and Andrew Hall gets his absolute bell rung. The injury report would say that he has migraines afterwards, so he got tackled by Leonard Little so hard that it literally gave him a headache that made him sensitive to light. But we will punt the ball back to the Rams, and Andrew Hall will be out of the game for the rest of the game. He won't be out for the rest of the season, luckily, but we will be riding with Jeff Blake and praying that he doesn't get hurt for the rest of this game. A couple of runs by Falk only gets him 3 yards in 2 plays. And on the 3rd down, Bulger finally finds a receiver. Torrey Holt gets that one for 12 yards. We're moving up into the St. Louis 36. Falk getting this one up the middle, sheds a few tackles, gets 6 yards on the play. 2nd and 4, Bulger complete to Brandon Manu Malinua. Now, I want to get that correct because you're going to be hearing that name a little bit later on. I guess that's what they call a tease in the business. From the 1st and 10, from the 49, Bulger finds Holt for another 16 yards. That's bringing them all the way up to Philadelphia's 35. And deja vu, Bulger to Holt, 19 yards, tackled by Quentin Mickle. We're now all the way up at the Philadelphia 16. Falk getting to the left side, managing 7 yards before Simoneau can drive him down. 2nd and 3, Goodspeed gets up the middle for the 3 that are needed. Isaac Reese is in there on the tackle, and on the 1st and goal from the Philadelphia 6, Marshall Falk slides out of the tackle, gets himself into the end zone, and the St. Louis Rams have come right back and tied this one up here in St. Louis. We'll take a look at that one more time. You can see Marshall Falk running straight up the gut, has someone on his back, sheds away from the tackle. I think that was maybe our backup, Sam Rayburn. Maybe it was Darwin Walker. Regardless, we are back, and the tie score here in the 2nd quarter. Blake misses that long pass to PK Sam down the right side. Bruce Perry's going to get this one up the middle for 3 yards, tackled by Jackson. On the 3rd and 7, it's looking like we're about to give it back to them real quick, but no, we find Freddie Mitchell over the middle. That's usually T.O.'s spot, and he makes a T.O.-like play, getting us 18 yards and a 1st down. Tapé gets 2 yards up the middle. Blake is going to complete this one over on the right side to PK Sam, getting us 6 more yards, bringing up a 3rd and 2. Blake going to drop back on this one, getting the play action over to Buckhalter, gets his defender to drop away from the sack and completes that one to the rookie Tapé, getting 8 yards over on that one and a 1st down for the Eagles, trying to drive this one before the half is over. On the 3rd and 9, Blake dropping back, looking to his left side for Billy McMullen, who drops this one out of the completion, and the Rams would run the clock out for the end of the half, bringing us into halftime with the Eagles tied up with the Rams 7-7, or should we say mostly the Eagles backups at this point. But Jeff Blake is still playing. I guess you can see the tail of the stats tape. We are winning the offensive game so far. You can see our 91 passing yards to their 54. Our 45 rushing yards are just under their 55. We can see if the backups can hang on to that momentum and see if they can scrounge out a win here for the Eagles, who technically don't need a win, but we're going to be going for the win regardless. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard run from Marshall Falk. He's getting up the middle for 4 yards this time, bringing up a 3rd and 1 situation. Falk gets the toss to the left side, and if you know anything, that's our Achilles heel. You know that a toss to the outside may be the defense's Achilles heel, especially when the backup defense, that's a 12-yard gain and a 1st down for Marshall Falk. Goodspeed gets up the middle for 3 yards there. Falk getting the toss back to the right side, this time only going to get 2 yards out of that one. Williams and Simoneau making sure he doesn't get any farther. On the 3rd and 5, Bulger throwing to the right side, missing his receiver. The Eagles get out of that drive with a 1st and 10 back at their own 17. And immediately Mike Bartram, we haven't heard that name many times this year, he catches that one over the middle for a gain of 22 yards, bring the Eagles all the way up to the 39. Blake throws a dangerous pass in the middle of 3 Rams defenders. Luckily, that just falls to the turf, incomplete. Perry running to the left side, only getting 1 yard. Pauly is there to stop him. Pauly wants a Perry indeed. Blake completes that one to PK Sam, gets over the 1st down line. That's a 12-yard gain. Move the chains for the Eagles. From the St. Louis 48, Perry getting the run over to the right side, makes a man miss with a sweet juke. Pauly is there to get his Perry, but that is an 8-yard gain, which Tapé takes over the 1st down line. That's a 5-yard gain. Move the chains for the Eagles yet again. Perry runs over to the left side. This time Moran is there breaking through the line, getting a big loss. 2nd and 14 after the 4-yard loss. Blake is rolling back. He gets hit while he throws. He fumbles the ball, and Little is right there to pick that one up, forcing the turnover for the St. Louis Rams. A tough look for the Philadelphia offense. We did actually keep the starting offensive line in, so that's not the best look for our big elite offensive line. But anyway, the Rams take over now from the St. Louis 32, and immediately that pass is going to get picked off by Sheldon Brown, who gets tackled by the Rams offense, but bing, bong, boom. We bat the ball back and forth between possessions, 2 turnovers, one after the other, and the Eagles, it's like we just punted a couple times, only they get both counted as turnovers. Sheldon Brown making his presence felt as the backup nickel corner, stepping into that spot for Lito Shepherd. Blake is going to throw that one over to the left side. It's incomplete, just out of the outstretched hands of Freddie Mitchell. We really thought he got that one a little bit farther. Perry over to the left side. Pauly right there to stop him. We've been hearing a lot of that Pauly on Perry action today. Blake complete to Tape over on that right side flat. He's going to get tackled by Fisher immediately. Only a 4-yard gain. That's going to bring up a 45-yard opportunity for David Akers. It's usually a chip shot for him. He must not have gotten all of it. He squeaks that one through the uprights, and that's going to give a 10-7 lead for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now we're showing off a kickoff. You know that crazy things are going to happen when we show kickoffs, and usually it's because the other team is scoring, but that's because this time he fumbles the ball. Steven Jackson spits up the ball, and the Eagles take over from the St. Louis 18. Blake completing one to Freddie Mitchell on the hook route right away. He found that hole in the defense. Archuleta gets him, but it's a 1st and goal from the St. Louis 5. Blake rolling out to his right side, has a man over the middle. I think he got hit when he threw. It's going to fall harmlessly incomplete for that 2nd down. 2nd and goal. Tape gets up the middle, doesn't quite get it over the line, so that's going to bring us into the 4th quarter with the Eagles holding on to a 10-7 lead and tapping at the door of the goal line, and Tape just needs one more run to burst right through that door. It is a 17-7 lead. We are looking at that responsibility of Steven Jackson fumbling that ball, and the Rams take back over down 10 here at their own 21. Bulger completes this one to Torrey Holt for 19 yards. It's going to bring up a 1st and 10 from the St. Louis 40, and right again, he gets another completion to Holt for 12 yards. That was a defensive pass interference call that they would decline. Bring up that 1st and 10 from Philadelphia territory. Bulger is going to come off and get a nice big 21-yard gain on the scramble for Mark Bulger. How often do you hear that? The man using his leg to get a big 1st down all the way down to the Philadelphia 26. Bulger's going to complete that one to Holt. We get a tackle just short of the 1st down line. That just means Marshall Faulk is going to get a big 14-yard gain. J.R. Reed, our rookie, saving the touchdown, but we get a 1st and goal from the Philadelphia 2. Bulger float that's one up to, that's right, Manu Malanua. Said his name was going to come up again. That's a touchdown reception, bringing the Rams back within striking distance. The lead for the Eagles is now only 17-14. The Eagles taking back over from their own 23. Blake is going to get sacked here by Leonard Little, doing a lot of damage on that defensive line. That's going to be a loss of 5. Perry up the middle for no gain. The defense of the Rams is doing their thing, but Blake says, hold on, I got one more deep pass in my pocket, finding Freddie Mitchell deep for 30 yards, keeping the Eagles' hopes alive to get a victory out of this one. And Perry gets to the left side for no gain. In fact, that's a loss of 1 on that left side toss. He didn't have that backside blocking. Blake gets that one to Sam over the middle. That's going to be a gain of 5 yards, but dropping back on a big 3rd down here. That one is in and out of the hands of PK Sam. That's going to give the Rams the ball on their own 21 with a few minutes to go. And that first completion there to Isaac Bruce. I think that's the first time we've said Isaac Bruce's name today. And then we get good speed up the middle for 11 yards. The line was not ready for that fullback rush right there. And apparently they weren't ready for another toss to the outside because Marshall Faulk bounces off of his defender. Simon O can't figure out what direction my guy is going in. J.R. Reed can't make the outstretched tackle. And Marshall Faulk slow steps into the end zone. That's a 60-yard run that our guy breaks off right here, and we have to see it one more time. We're going to see it after he's already done most of the damage. You see J.R. Reed had a chance to catch him there, and he's going to just slowly walk it all the way into the end zone, giving the Rams the lead. Late into the game here, the Eagles have one more chance under Jeff Blake to do a little 2-minute drill, though we didn't put the starters back in. Blake basically takes off for his life there, gets an 8-yard gain on the scramble. Perry going to take the run up the middle, shows a little juke move, gets the spin move, but gets tackled by Spoon. It's a 4-yard gain. We're coming up on just a minute left in the game. Blake passing that one over the middle, incomplete, in and out of the receiver's hands. 2nd and 10, Blake dropping back, rolling to his left side. Has a guy deep left over the middle. This one's going to be just blocking off of Greg Lewis's hands. A big drop and a 3rd and 10. Blake dropping back over the middle this time, looking for his guy. Really lucky that he didn't get intercepted. We do have T.O. in this one, and when T.O. is in the game, you got to just throw it to T.O. So we're going to go ahead and take that. We declined the pass interference. We get up to the Philadelphia 43. to see if we can get anything here from Jeff Blake. He throws that one in and out of Billy McMullen's hands. I don't know if we're going to be silly Billy McMullen on the roster moving forward. Blake getting sacked there by Jackson for a loss of 4. The clock keeps rolling. This is pretty much the last chance the Eagles have on the 4th and 10, and Grady Jackson does his thing. Double trouble from Grady Jackson. It would force the turnover from the Eagles, and the Rams would kneel this one out. At the end of the day, the backups let this one slip away, and the Rams take home the victory from the Eagles, who again didn't need this game, but would have been nice if we got that one for the victory and the momentum. We are going to go full bench for the next game. Again, I'm not trying to get anybody hurt. We want to be at full strength as we head into the playoffs. So this one was like 3/4 of the bench. This one, we're really going to see what kind of pieces we have on the bench. We're going to let them all ride for this second game. You see those full stats right there. We'll break it down into our key players. Blake today, 15 for 28 after coming in for Hall, who only got one throw before getting hurt. He did throw for 188 yards, no touchdowns, but also no interceptions. Marshall Faulk ended up breaking out for 140 yards. We did have, well, it looks like our best rusher was Jeff Blake, which is kind of funny. We did have those 2 touchdowns for Marshall as well. Freddie Mitchell had 3 catches for 61 yards. PK Sam, 5 for 48. Good possession receiving from PK today. But unfortunately, of course, he did not get into the end zone. We had no receiving touchdowns today. And from the defensive side, Sheldon Brown and J.R. Reed holding it down. Looks like J.R. Reed had 9 total tackles from that strong safety position. No sacks from the Philadelphia Eagles this time. And also, we had, I think we had 1 interception. There it is, that 1 interception from Sheldon Brown. So that's going to take us to the final week of Season 1 here against the Cincinnati Bengals. You can see here that we have the home field advantage clinched, so we don't need to push our starters any harder than they need to. There are some things that need to settle up in the playoff race. We'll take a full look at that playoff race either at the end of this episode or the start of the next one. And you can see in the AFC, the Bills are crushing it, 13-2, home field advantage for them. You see the Colts also having a great year, and the Patriots are always going to be a challenge over there. And the Bengals have their division wrapped up. I'm not sure if they're going to be throwing the bench at us. I don't think the computer does stuff like that. Taking a look at the playoff picture, if things ended today, we haven't simulated this final week yet. So we see Buffalo up top there, and then we see us at the top of the NFC. It looks like New Orleans is at the bottom right now. It's maybe who we're going to play coming up. You see Atlanta and Chicago are also potentially knocking at the door. So we're going to see who we're going to play coming up. We got the Cincinnati Bengals right now. We've got John Kitna under center for them. We've got Rudy Johnson for them. And of course, Chad Ochocinco before he was that Chad Johnson. We simulate through this one. We see the tail of the stats tape. Once again, we're going to be making all of our bench changes once the game gets started. So this is just slightly misleading, although the Bengals probably going to be at full strength for this one. And before we jump into our final game of Season 1 for this Eagles franchise, I would love it if you took a moment to hit that button and subscribe to the channel. Of course, if you're already subbed up, I appreciate you greatly. Giving a like or leaving a comment always helps with the engagement of the video. We're on that road to 250 subscribers. I'm stoked you're here. We're trying to make this content as much and as best as we can. So let's do it, y'all. Philadelphia versus the Bengals. And we've got a snowy one here at Lincoln Financial Field to close out Season 1 in this Eagles franchise dynasty. Excited to have a little bit of a snow game. It seems like the crowd is excited for a little bit of a snow game again. And we're going to be rolling with the backups for this one. Andrew Hall is back from his migraines. We've got Bruce Perry in that starting running back spot, but we're going to have our backup defense taking over first against the Cincinnati Bengals. Rudy Johnson, we're not seeing the backups here. We're getting the starters the whole time. Gets up the middle for a loss of 1, but we get 8 more yards from Chad Johnson there from that pass from John Kitna, and Rudy Johnson gets the 2 yards that are needed. In fact, he gets 4 more yards to get a 1st and 10 for the Cincinnati Bengals. From their own 36, Rudy gets over to the right side for 3 yards. We get a combination of Reed and Wynn on the stop. And then on the 2nd and 7, Rudy has some space, and he gets 10 yards on that run to the right side. Move the chains to the edge of Cincinnati territory at the 49. Kitna looking deep here, almost has his pass picked off by Simoneau. That's a 2nd and 10 on the incompletion. Johnson going to hand that one off to Rudy on the delay. He's going to lose 3. McDougal broke right through and got the nice tackle there. That one's going to be called a face mask on the completion to Peter Warwick. I thought it was going to be a declined pass interference, but instead it's a face mask on the tackle, tacking on a few more yards, 15 of them to be exact, bringing them all the way up to the Philadelphia 21. Rudy Johnson running to the right side. Danny Jones, who's back from injury. We're letting Danny Jones rock in this game. I know he's not technically a backup, but he's back from injury, and I wanted him to get a game under his belt before he played in the playoffs. So from the 3rd and 5 after the run for no gain, Kitna firing towards the end zone. Sheldon Brown saying no, knocking it away from Chad, and they're going to settle for a 33-yard field goal. The kick by Shane Graham is up, and it sends it inside of that right upright. It is good, and the Bengals strike first, going up here in this first quarter by a score of 3-0. Andrew Hall taking over, the rookie throwing it over the middle to LJ Smith, getting that reception for 5 yards over the middle. Perry going to take that toss to the right side. The blocking was not solid from the backup receivers that time. O'Neal tackles him for a gain of nothing. 3rd and 5. Andrew Hall throwing it over the middle to Freddie Mitchell. I'm not sure if that was in a Bengals hand or Mitchell's hands, but regardless, it is incomplete. That's going to give the Bengals the ball right back. Johnson getting over to the right side for 1 yard after they start on their own 41. Rudy going to get it again, going to get some daylight that time, running to the left side for just 3 yards, set 3rd and 6 already. Kitna dropping back, throwing over the middle, and Dexter Wynn dropping off of his man, getting that one in coverage, gets the interception. The youngin taking that ball away from John Kitna. The Eagles are going to take back over with great field position, as you see that one getting interception in the beautiful snowfall by Dexter, and we get a 1st and 10 from the Cincinnati 49. Bruce gets the blocks this time. He uses a juke and his speed to get 11 yards and a 1st down, and then on that nice 1st down from Cincinnati territory, Andrew Hall's going to haul this one deep to the left side and is going to get immediately intercepted back by Victor Green. The Bengals take over at their own 14 from that interception from Andrew Hall. Kitna finds Peter Warwick right away for 16 yards, bringing them up to the 30. His second pass is knocked away, bringing up a 2nd and 10. Kitna looking to pass again off of the play action, throws it over to the right side. You can see there that Isaac was basically just running through his man right there as it bounced off of his back, so that's going to be a defensive pass interference, bringing up a 1st down. Rudy gets the ball on the 1st down up the middle for no gain. Danny Jones is looking good in his return to the field. 2nd and 10. Kitna is going to roll a little bit to his right, throw it to his left side. He throws it into double coverage. It's in and out of Chad Johnson's hands. Couldn't hold on after taking the hit. 3rd and 10. John Kitna rolling back, throwing over the middle. Has Chad again. Actually, that wasn't Chad. That was somebody else, but it falls incomplete. Regardless, this backup Philadelphia defense is standing up to the task so far. Tapé getting up the middle for 6 yards as the Eagles take over from their own 29, and that is going to send us into the second quarter. A low-scoring affair so far through 1 in snowy Philadelphia. The Bengals are leading by a score of 3-0. Taking back over in the second quarter, Perry getting some blocks in front of him on the counter play to the right. He has the 1st down and then some. He uses the juke to send a defender away. It is a 20-yard gain on the great counter from Bruce Perry, our rookie, always slow, showing flashes of some brilliance here. On the 2nd and 10 after Buckhalter gets nothing, Hall just misses PK Sam on that one. I think we're going to credit PK with a drop on that one. And on the 3rd and 10, Andrew on the short drop back gets his pass intercepted again by Kaiwan Ratliff. That is a tough look for Andrew Hall, and to make it a tougher look, Kaiwan is heading all the way back to the crib. He takes it through the 5 all the way into the snowy end zone, and in a blink of an eye in the start of the second quarter, Ratliff has the Bengals on the board for their first touchdown. It's a defensive touchdown, and we have a score of 10-0 here in Philadelphia. Trying to make up for that mistake, the Philadelphia Eagles offense takes over from their own 22. Tapé gets up the middle for 5 yards. Deja vu, 2nd and 5, another 5 yards from Tapé up the middle. Hall's going to complete this one, hauling left over the middle, has Mitchell all alone, just barely underthrew him. Imagine if he hit his guy in stride, we might have been on the board for a touchdown, but that's going to be a 41-yard gain regardless. Hall, he's playing with fire in the snow, man, almost getting that one intercepted. Perry going to get another good couple blocks on that right side. He's faster than his linebackers. He's going to get 12 yards on the toss that time and a 1st down. Andrew going to roll out to his left side. He has PK Sam open on that left, cutting to that little cross outside route. It's going to be a 13-yard gain and a 1st down. Hall's going to throw on 1st down from goal line. He finds it to LJ Smith, but he kind of runs backwards. It's going to be a loss of 1 for LJ Smith. Tapé trying to get another one through the middle. Not quite going to make it He's going to get 1 yard. No touchdown yet, but the touchdown here is going to be scored by Freddie Mitchell, catching that low pass again by Andrew Hall, doing a beautiful little, it kind of looks like a Zoolander move where he could only go left, where he turns over his left shoulder, turns gracefully into the end zone, and the touchdown puts the Eagles on the board. It's now 7-10, the Eagles creeping back into this one as the Bengals take over and the second quarter is winding down. After the 3-yard gain from Kitna, Johnson runs right for a loss of 1. Quentin Michael was in there on the safety blitz. And then Kitna's going to find Chad Johnson wide open for 23 yards. The safety couldn't recover in time. That's going to bring up a 1st and 10 from midfield. Kitna immediately finding Reggie Kelly, who breaks a tackle or two, giving 13 yards over on that left side, 1st and 10 into Philadelphia territory. Kitna finds Peter Warwick, who makes a very athletic grab and finds some extra yards to boot. That's a 14-yard gain, another 1st down for the Bengals, and another one for Peter Warwick. He barely gets tackled before the end zone, and Kitna is going to reward his guy for all of the work well done. Warwick finds that 1-yard touchdown for the Bengals, who strike back almost as swiftly as they were scored on, getting another touchdown on the board before the half concludes. Going into the locker room, the Bengals extend their lead back to 10 points, leading in this snowy Philadelphia bout by a score of 17-7. Now you can see that the backup Philadelphia offense is doing okay. We're trying to keep it even between the offense and the rushing offense and the passing offense, I should say. We are not doing a good job stopping the pass from our secondary, but we are doing a good job of holding Rudy Johnson to a marginally okay game so far, so we'll see if we can do any better in any of those categories moving forward. Of course, not throwing interceptions would be really, really nice. Spoilers, we don't do much better than that one, but we do get that completion to PK Sam, 14 yards over the middle for that 1st down. Perry's going to run right, gets 2 yards out of what seemed like he was going to get swallowed up in the backfield. Tackled there by Simmons. That's going to bring up a 2nd down. Hall finding PK Sam again on the hook route. His defender missed that opportunity at an interception. That's going to be 18 yards on the extra yardage, bring it up into Cincinnati territory. Tape's going to get up the middle, trying to juke one out, but gets 2 yards on the tackle from Simmons. Hall's going to complete this one to Perry, who stopped on his route and gets immediately swallowed up for a loss of 4, and on the 3rd and 12, Hall's looking on a short drop back. He floats this one over to the left side, and just missing passes by them being just short, we're really going to hope to see a little bit of an increase in the arm strength for Andrew Hall next season before we totally give up on him. We definitely want to see a little bit more, at least 1 or 2 years out of a rookie. We get a sack here by our Eagles defense. Derek Burgess breaking through to get the sack on Kitna for a loss of 5, but then Kitna gets all of them back and then some by that 12-yard gain for Peter Warwick. I guess I shouldn't have said and then some, because we get the ball back, but then Hall immediately gives the ball back to the Bengals. I don't know if we can blame this one on Hall. It is intercepted by Jason Simmons. It was bounced off of his receiver and then right into the hands of his defender. So as quickly as the Eagles offense got on the field, they go back off. Rudy Johnson gets a run to the right side for 3 yards. 2nd and 7, Johnson gets to the left side, this time only for 6 yards. Zanny Jones getting another nice tackle. And then Johnson's going to get up to the right side for 3 yards this time, but 3 yards is more than enough. Simon with the tackle. That is a 1st down for the Bengals. 1st and 10 for the 15-yard line up in Eagles territory. Johnson's up the middle for 3 yards. Kitna looking to pass this time, throws it towards the end zone, almost intercepted by Quentin Michael, but that falls to the turf, the snowy turf. Incomplete. His hands must have been cold. 3rd and 7. Kitna's going to throw into double coverage this time. The Eagles defense holds true once again, and we're going to hold them to a field goal. It's a 23-yarder from Graham. It's up and it's good. The Bengals now lead by a score of 20-7 here in the 3rd quarter. The Eagles taking over 1st and 10. Andrew throwing deep to the left side. Once again, he short arms his receiver, but this time we're going to get a little bit of the bailout. Maybe the refs are feeling bad. Maybe there was a defensive pass interference call, but regardless, pass interference, that brings us up to our own 37-yard line. Perry's going to get that toss to the right side. That toss to the right side's been working for us today. We get a juke miss, we get a spin miss, and we get a 13-yard gain. Herring in there for the stop. 1st and 10 from Cincinnati's 49. We're going to get a nice deep pass, actually caught by somebody this time. PK Sam has been showing flashes of brilliance. We are really loving this signing that we made. And then we get Perry all alone on the left side. He's got the space, he's got the blocks, and Bruce Perry, the rookie from Oregon, who has shown even more flashes of brilliance here in this first season of our Eagles dynasty, gets all the way through the snow, over the cabin, through the woods, to grandmother's touchdown end zone we go. It's a score of 14-20. The Eagles are coming back a little bit in this one. The backups, they're backups. They're playing well. They're doing what they need to. They're getting their chance on the field. Kitna's first pass was incomplete. His second pass was not incomplete. He gets Johnson for the first down. But this time, we get another flag in our favor. This time, the offensive holding penalty is going to repeat second down, bringing it as a 2nd and 20. Kitten is going to drop back, looking to pass from the second and forever. He's going to find Chad Johnson that time, an 11-yard gain. And the Eagles faithful is loving it. It's snowing. The backups are playing well, and we're within one touchdown as we head into the fourth quarter. Score is 20-14, the Bengals lead. And on the 3rd and 9, the Eagles defense gets the stop. Sheldon Brown steps in front of that pass. If he didn't, it might have been all the way gone for a touchdown. And the Eagles offense takes over. Perry breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage and manages 7 on the tackle from Simmons. That's going to bring up a 2nd and 3. Tape gets off the middle. He bounces off his own lineman. That's always a recipe for getting no gain. And Hall's going to throw it over to that right side, and Smith just couldn't find his feet. Smith has just been failing us on that out route, and we're going to give it right back to the Cincinnati Bengals, and Rudy Johnson finally breaks out for a good run. He gets that draw on the shotgun up the middle for 12 yards, bring up a first down from Cincy's 32. Kitten is going to complete this one to Rudy this time, getting 4 yards on the play, 2nd and 6. Rudy's going to get it on the run to the left side. The safeties have to step up and make the play, getting it to a 5-yard gain, but a 3rd and inches. Johnson's going to get it up the middle, and we get the loss of 2 on the tackle from Isaac Reese. That's going to give the Eagles the ball back and a chance to make something out of this one. Look at how short he's throwing it. The people on my stream were telling me to put Blake back in to actually try and win it, and I just straight up didn't want to risk him getting hurt as I throw to Owens and risk him getting hurt. But we get the first down. Andrew Hall is showing some scramble, some hope. We get a 7-yard gain on that scramble from Andrew Hall, and just we didn't like the coverage, we didn't like everything we were seeing downfield, but we did like that we can get a second scramble and a safe slide down for a 12-yard gain. And let's dial up another 12-yard gain. This time Carell Buckhalter going to throw a good stiff arm at his defender, 12 yards on the tackle from Bronson. And with a little bit of momentum on our side, Andrew Hall rolling to his right, throwing it over the middle, and he gets intercepted by the lineman, Hugh Douglas, who is back in the zone coverage. I truly thought he was open. He wasn't open. There was like a defensive line spy. That was my fault, and I feel really bad about it. So I don't really want to talk about it. Anyway, the Bengals are taken back over from their own 29. Rudy Johnson on 3rd down, going to make some guys miss. It was almost a breakaway, but thankfully Tyrone Williams saved that one. Only a gain of 12 yards, 1st and 10 from the Cincinnati 43. Johnson up the middle with 1 gain. With no gain, we are inside of the 2-minute warning now, so we are calling timeouts every single time we can make a tackle. Johnson gets 7 yards, but not quite a first down. This is a 3rd and 3. He runs it to the right. McDougal is on the tackle. Tyrone Williams takes him down, and we get one last chance. Can Andrew Hall summon a little bit of magic, show why we draft? No. He got intercepted again. He throws his 5th interception of the day, and the Bengals will escape from Lincoln Financial Field with the victory. I'm not sure you can call it escaping with a victory when you first force 5 interceptions, but the Bengals do solidify their place in the standings by moving up to 10 and 6. The Eagles slipped to 12 and 4 after the 2 consecutive losses, but that's okay. Once again, we already had that first overall seed and that home field advantage locked up through the playoffs, so we felt okay giving our young guys some run there, not risking the injuries for our actual important starters. And you can see we did well. We had good offense. We just kind of let it slip away with those said 5 interceptions from Andrew Hall, who did throw for 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 5 picks. I'm not going to say that he's going to be the guy. We'll see how he develops in the next year. Bruce Perry, though, definitely looking like someone we can build around. I hope his progression shows that. He's definitely going to be, like, spoilers, he's our leading rusher on the team after the year is all said and done. PK Sam, another great pickup from our free agency haul that we had a few weeks into the season. He had 70-something yards this year. My screen went away before it showed it, and I don't feel like looking at it. Freddie Mitchell did have the 1 touchdown reception. Isaac Reese led all defenders in solo tackles. Derek Burgess on the line did a great job with 2 extra assists and a sack, getting 7 overall tackles for the defensive backup. Sheldon Brown deflecting those 3 passes, and we did have that 1 takeaway from Dexter Wynn as well. So that's going to do it for the regular season of this one. We're going to simulate through the end of the week just so we can get all the standings and all the playoff positions in the correct places, and we can kind of show everything where it's at as the season ends. and as we head into the playoffs and the postseason. So you can see here, we had Danny playing with that probable fractured arm. It looked like he did okay. Everyone else is probably, well, we'll get Justin Ina back at some point, but he's a backup linebacker. Everyone else is likely to be out for the rest of the season. That's Todd Pinkston, Brian Westbrook, Donovan McNabb. Now you can see here the Seahawks, Saints, Panthers, Vikings, and Packers join us in the NFC dance. And as we look on over into the other side of the coin, the Bengals are joined by the Colts, the Chiefs, the Broncos, the Pats, and the Bills having that number 1 overall seed, having clinched home field advantage. So we'll see Kansas City versus Denver. We'll see Cincinnati versus New England, and then Indianapolis play the winners of those. And then, of course, Carolina versus New Orleans and Seattle versus Green Bay to decide the wild card matchups over there. The next episode will show that matchup. We'll show the simulations of all of those games. And that's going to do it for the regular season of our first season of the Eagles Franchise Dynasty. Y'all, thank you so much for being along for this ride. I've learned a ton. I've had a lot of fun making these videos. I've had a lot of fun hanging out with you all on the live streams. We do live stream these games, so be sure to come out and check them out sometime. And yeah, be sure to like the video, comment on the video, and subscribe up to the channel if you haven't already, especially if you've made it this far. We are on the road to 250 subscribers, and we can't wait to get there and keep trying to level up this channel. So for myself, Peanuts 24/7, thanks for being here, and we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Goodbye.